foreign capital or not. That is it. Then coming to food grains, the mother earth of India is always reliable, it supports us. The last year, the food grain production was 285 and 296 trillion. This year, please note, the figure given is only for 6 months, right? 144 million tons is for the 6 months. So, we will have the tariff and other things coming up, and I am praying that India will cross 300 million tons of food grains production this financial year. It has its own advantages, it has its own problems, because if more food grains are produced, they are not stored properly and rats and rodents eat away. And at one time, couple of years back, the Supreme Court was saying, when Manmohan Singh was the finance minister, it gave a direction to the finance minister, when rats can eat, why you allow people in the country to go hungry? Why people in the country go with empty stomach? Why don't you distribute these food grains freely to the people? That is one of the reasons all these state governments are giving lot of food grains. It solves the problem of storage also. It also creates other problems. We are not making the best use of agriculture. Please note, I may be an old timer, but I still believe in one thing. Norman Borlaug, Nobel laureate, who guided India during the period of Green Revolution along with Dr. C. Subramaniam. Dr. C. Subramaniam's birthday is today, 111th birthday, a great architect, Bharat Ratna from Tamil Nadu. And Subramaniam, M.S. Swaminathan and Norman Borlaug authored Green Revolution. I attended a lecture in 1977 in Chennai, where Norman Borlaug visited MIDS. I still remember I had taken down that words. India has the largest cultivable plains in the world. No country has such a large tract of cultivable land in the world. China may be 3 times larger geographically, Canada much more, but cultivable plains and the variety of food, fruits, vegetables, no country can compare with India. He said, if there were a crisis of food, India will become the bread basket of the world. Modern technology can be used to make India as an agricultural power and export food to the world, and the farmers will have it. And please note, during COVID time, manufacturing suffered, your hotel business suffered, your travel suffered, but nature gave its produce in the right way. So, that is a situation. So, that is again something I harp on for. Then index on industrial production, it is also going down. So, you can see it is minus 15%. So, this is a COVID period. Now, I am not going much on that, right. Now, please, I think Professor Jaga would have sent you the copies of the volumes, right. What are the things we have in these volumes? In the volume 1, we have 10 chapters. The whole ideology of this year's budget and the survey is first one, saving lives and livelihoods amidst a one in a century crisis. So, after 100 years, we are facing another crisis, crisis created by the coronavirus. Now, this is it, saving lives is more important, and saving livelihood. The government is doing a very commendable job in saving the lives compared to the rich countries. Maybe we have in our own DNA the much of a resistance, even though we are poor, but still the government is doing great job in saving the lives. and saving the livelihoods of the people. Government was confused when the migrant laborers were just walking miles hither and thither without food, whatnot. We never had the creativity and imagination to solve the problems of livelihood of the people. Still the government is at a loss. I am sorry, this is my view. I don't expect you to accept my view. Managing the livelihood of the people, the government would have done much better. Government did not do. Government was more focused on saving lives. Does growth lead to debt sustainability? So this is a very intrinsic relationship between debt and growth. When you go for growth, you borrow a lot of money, and the borrowing becomes a burden, whether it is within the government or from other side, outside the country. Now this is it. A new concept has come where over a period of time there will be lot of burden of debt becoming a problem. But once you sustain your growth, that growth itself will provide resources to solve the problems of the debt. There is a theory involved in it. That is why I told you the first part has more theory, ideology. Second one, does India's sovereign credit rating reflects its fundamentals? No. So we have always been worried about credit ratings. Why we are opening up, why we are more friendly to the corporates? The government was saying our credit rating. So the international credit rating agencies will credit us more. Yesterday evening, the economic secretary says we are not bothered about the credit rating. This is the first time I am hearing a person of high esteem saying the credit ratings do not reflect the fundamental strengths of Indian economy. Our strengths are much larger. If you downgrade us, maybe you are downgrading us may not bring us more capital, more loans, more external commercial borrowing. Never mind about it. We are strong. We as a nation is strong with all our limitations. That is something I appreciate. Inequality and growth. So inequality and growth, two opposite things. If you focus on growth, there may be inequalities. But if you are going in for solving the problems of inequality and sharing things between all the people, there may not be any incentive. The growth will be stifled. So how to solve the problems? They give lot of things. At a point it is possible to have a convergence. This is the theoretical explanation of that chapter. Then healthcare takes center stage finally. So health is important, government is doing everything to go for it. Process reforms enabling decision making under certainty. So whether it is industry or agriculture, the government has to make decisions. All these decisions are made under uncertainty. Now uncertainty may be something that is what we dislike, but uncertainty has always opportunities. Uncertainty also has opportunities. So that is the point it is talking about. I have in the Word file, I have given explanations and synopsis of all these things. I worked till 1 o'clock last night and got up by 5:30 and also worked for the rest of the things. That is it. Then regulatory forbearance. Quite a lot of reference to this in the paper today. The economic secretary talking about the regulatory forbearance. What is the meaning of it? Honestly, I understand the word as something as basically a tolerance, but I went to the dictionary last night and tried to understand the economic reflection of the word here, forbearance. Now we have been tolerating. So we simply say, let us take it on, let us tolerate, let us manage, everything will pass, we will go ahead without doing much. So this is it. And the government has been having lot of regulations. The RBI has lot of regulations, the finance ministry has lot of regulations. All these regulations have reduced the impact and capability of the mechanism in the country. So let us forget about all these regulations come out for the benefit of the country. That is what he had spoken in one of the lectures last evening. Subramaniam has mentioned about it, and this morning I was very happy to read an anecdote of how we have solved the problem of COVID. He was talking about the two cricketers who did a great service in Australia in the last match. Who were they? That's it. Now we get the reflections. So, first 6 months it was Pujara, that is how he says. The next 6 months, right. So, first 6 months we are trying to stabilize. There was a rock of a man stabilizing things. The next 6 months we went ahead and we were able to revive the much worse negative trend of GDP growth. That is how he was saying. I don't fully agree, but I do agree that India has managed in the last 6 months. This is because there was a change in the policy of the government. The government during the first 6 months was harping on the supply side. It was under the impression that if you provide incentives to the producers, they will be motivated to bring forth lot of investment to produce more, and when they go in for more investment, more production, more employment will be possible, more things are. The whole country was in topsy-turvy. People were moving here and there, people were leaving for their native places, factories were not opening. For heaven's sake, at such a situation, why the government was harping on supply side? That was what I was thinking of as a student of Keynesian economics. Now the government is focusing on demand side during the last 6 months. Give lot of incentives for people to spend more, make money in the hands of the people. How it can be possible? Various measures have been there. I have mentioned about that in the word file I have given. That's it, right? Innovation is very important, and our government of India says that in the innovation dimensions, India is moving ahead. Quite a lot of innovations has come out. In Asian countries, the one country which is ahead in innovation is India. We are proud of it. And then Arogya and health outcomes, quite a lot of things. Last one, basic necessities. Government is focusing on the basic necessities of the last Indian. In real terms, yes. In the previous it was just mentioned, but they are taking measures for this. This is also given. So this is one I am going to concentrate on. So this is it, state of the economy, how things were there, fiscal developments, the fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, the budgetary deficit, the borrowings, whatnot, all those things I have given in the word file, quite a lot of things. Please read it before the budget. If you read it, it is about 10 pages only, not much. Please go through that, and you will be able to enjoy understanding the nuances of economics. That's it. Then external sector, the government says in the external sector we are doing wonderfully well. What is the most redeeming feature of the external sector of India? We have pretty good foreign exchange. We have around $575 billion of foreign exchange. Imagine in 1991 we had just $1 billion of foreign exchange. Now from $1 billion 91 to 2001, 2020. In 20 years, from $1 billion we have got $576 billion of foreign exchange. That's it. Then monetary management and financial intermediate, quite a lot of intricacies are there. Price and inflation, price level was moderate. We have the two concepts, core inflation and headline inflation. Please go to the concepts part of it. What is core inflation? What is the headline inflation? So core inflation avoids two important components, volatile things. Food, vegetables, everything goes up much. Today I went to buy vegetables. Did anybody go to buy vegetables, Jaga? Did anybody here? I am not asking you, sir. Did any of you know what is happening? I saw the brinjals very fresh and nice. I asked the price of brinjals. Half a kilo, 35 rupees. I did buy it because they were good and I could afford. So, brinjal prices go up and down. Vegetable prices go up and down. Volatility is much there in food grains. Similarly, another one, the volatility is something which is ridiculous. What is the other thing? Gujarat has touched the century mark. What's it? Yeah? Yeah, petrol prices. So, when you avoid these two items, food items and energy items, then we call that as core inflation. When you take into consideration all these things, we call it as headline inflation. There is always variation between the core inflation, headline inflation, the wholesale price index and the consumer price index. All those intricacies are there. Then sustainable development and climate change. India has been doing quite a commendable job with reference to that. Agriculture and food management, industry and infrastructure, quite a lot. Service sector, drubbed very badly. Service sector. And please note, when a country is growing economically, prosperous, then the share of service sector in the economy goes up. This is what happens in the developed economies. Now, we are an emerging developing economy. The share of service sector in Indian economy is going up. Now, we have around 60% of our GDP comes from the intangible dimensions of service sector. All our services, whether a Rajinikanth movie is selling at a high rate and they are going for 400 crores, 500 crores a new movie, oh, okay, it's there. It is part of it in the service sector, movies, whatnot. And Netflix makes quite a lot of money. Service sector makes a lot of money. Now, in service sector, there are certain industries which are terribly, terribly shattered. What could be that? Travel, tourism, hospitality, all these things. Now, you can talk to the hotel owners, the restaurant owners, quite a lot of fixed cost. They are actually running into a loss. So, this is it. The only people who manage to manage is the people who are selling jewelry, the gold jewelers. So, that is it. So, everybody suffered in service sector. Social infrastructure, employment, human development. So, this is something where we had lot of problems, inequalities were there. This is the situation. We shall have the break. I will come and take just 10 minutes on the figures and then about the budget outcome, and I want you to react to what could be the budget from your own point of view, whether the income tax payers will have some respite, some relief, whether the corporate sector will have additional things, whether agricultural sector will have signing off the loans, whether the MSMEs, what are they? Yeah. MSMEs, micro. That's honey to my ears when I hear the voices. That's it. So, all these industries the government was talking about is there was something the government was talking about, right? Productivity linked incentives to industries. If industries perform well, if the productivity is good, they will become given some incentives. Atmanirbhar 1, 2, 3, you could have gone through that. The government earmarked a lot of money. The finance minister was very pompous in highlighting 70,000 crores, 20,000 crores. How much of money really said, God alone knows. But they, in a way, helped because the government was saying, so the government is interested in us. Atmanirbhar 1, 2, 3, what not. Okay? Okay, thank you. We'll come after a small break. You can have your reactions, then we'll continue.